What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Ultimate Girls Trip, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Season 2, Episode 2. So, we left off with them arguing down to the table, and Brandy and Vicki end up getting into it, and Brandy tells Vicki to shut the F up. And Vicki was like, don't you talk to me like that. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but you're not going to talk to me like that. And Brandy was like, oh, girl, and scene. And they were like, what you mean, and scene? Like, this not about the show. This not no scene. This is for real. Like, you're not going to talk to me crazy. Well, everybody realizes that Brandy's drunk, and they basically tell Brandy to take her ass to bed, okay? So Brandy said she was going to the bathroom, but she really went upstairs and got in the bed. Now, Phaedra felt like she needed to go check on Brandy. Now, this is what I noticed in this episode. I see that Brandy and Eva are becoming Phaedra and Eva are becoming Brandy's saviors, and I don't like that because I keep telling y'all Brandy is a snake. She gonna bite you. This episode, Phaedra and especially Eva, oh my gosh, Eva is just, oh, they just have it out for her. Oh, they doing this, they doing that. And I'm like, are you not seeing what Brandy's doing? Like, Brandy is just going around calling people out their name and telling people to shut the F up. Like, and Eva did try to talk to Brandy later on in the episode and say, listen, girl, you can't talk to them like you talk to us. Like, if you call me a bitch, I'm not going to trip. If you tell me shut the F up, it probably ain't going to hit me the same way. But you know you can't talk to them like that because they're not trying to hear that. You know you can't talk to them like that. So, Brandy goes to bed. Phaedra goes to check on her. While that's going on, the rest of the ladies are downstairs talking, and somehow we get to talking about Dorinda being on a dry spell and how she just can't do casual sex, but it's, girl, they told her she need to get her some. Then we get on, Vicki said something about having to go take her 30 pills, child, because she takes all these pills for vitamins and this, and this. And then we find out that she is not vaccinated. Now, Phaedra was like, hold up. I was under the impression that everybody who was here was vaccinated. And now this little cough that she got is making me feel some kind of way. She talking about she got a medical exemption. She talking about that the vaccines are all about the pharmaceutical companies trying to make money. And baby, Dorinda goes off. Dorinda goes off. She talks about all the people she lost to COVID and how it's not a hoax and how she sounds crazy. And Vicki was like, well, I lost somebody who was vaccinated. She gonna tell her, you a liar. I need proof. Girl, don't nobody need to show you no proof that a friend of theirs died. Listen, the vaccine may have been very well in saving a whole lot of people's lives, but we're not going to sit here and act like there weren't no side effects. We're not going to sit here and act like there weren't people who had an adverse effect to the vaccine, okay? But baby, Dorinda showed her you know what. And then they were like, oh, this is the Dorinda that we know. And y'all know Shady Bravo ended up showing us a bunch of damn clips of Dorinda hopping around and acting a fool and getting in people's faces. So Dorinda leaves. She makes herself another drink, and she comes back, and then she apologizes. She said, listen, I just get very passionate. I lost a lot of people to COVID, and I just, I feel some kind of way, so I, please accept my apology. And Vicki was like, look, I decided that I'm not going to sit here and argue with her because that's an argument that I wasn't going to win. I'm not interested in winning. I'm not interested in arguing. I just let her say what she needs to say so we can move on, okay? So then the ladies end up going upstairs, and they basically were up all night. Looks like they stayed up till like 4 a.m, child. So the next morning, the ladies are waking up for breakfast. Child, Dorinda got an itinerary, it looked like a cruise itinerary. You ever been on a cruise? And they have something scheduled like every 15 minutes on a cruise. You don't have to go to everything, but they have it all set up so that they have something going on somewhere on the ship at all times. That's what it looked like. They had breakfast, and then they have mani-pedis, then they had a pizza brunch, then they were doing the sound garden, whatever the hell. Then they had the gelato bar. Then they went to the haunted house for dinner and to get their coffee beans ready. It was a whole lot going on for one day. So the ladies are getting up and they're getting breakfast, and they just kind of talking about the night before, and the fact that they were up half the night, child. The people come to set up the mani-pedis, well, the pedicures, And so everybody goes down to get their, get their pedicure done. Now, Brandy, of course, they said that basically Brandy was going to show up in the morning and basically be like, I'm so sorry, what happened? Which is, of course, what she did. She showed up like she didn't remember what she did, didn't remember who she yelled at, didn't remember what she said, child. Girl, ain't nobody got time for you and your memory loss, okay? Your convenient memory loss. Dorinda said that she got chill pills for everybody for the sound garden. Now, this one I'm going to say, you probably should have explained to people what this sound garden was, because a lot of them, when it got to be time for the sound garden thing, they didn't know what the hell they were supposed to be doing. It looks like it's just like a type of meditation, but they didn't even know what they was doing. So you probably should have said something to them, okay? But anyway, after breakfast, the ladies go down to get their pedicures done. They had the people come, and we keep seeing this truck rolling up. Now, we know that Jill is coming. And a correction, Jill is not from the Real Housewives of OC. Jill is from the Real Housewives of New York. And Jill is annoying as fuck. Within the first 5 minutes, Jill had annoyed the hell out of me, and nobody seemed to be impressed that Jill was there. Like, Jill was I don't know if she was expecting a marching band or what, but she immediately starts talking about, first she got her dog and her boyfriend that she felt like she just had to introduce, so they ended up leaving. So then she started talking about if anybody needs anything, she's got, she bought her own wardrobe rack, and she knows people in New York. If people forgot something or they need something, she knows designers, and she knows this person, that. And to the point where Dorinda had to tell her, girl, just go chill out. Like, go sit down, get your feet done, and chill DF out. Like, you doing too much in this moment. Like, I'm gonna need you to calm down. So they end up finishing up the pedicure. Dorinda couldn't even finish her pedicure because she can't sit still long enough to get both of her feet done, okay? She's just got a little ADHD in her. She's all over the place. So they get ready for lunch. Then they get to the sound garden. I keep saying sound garden. I hope that's right. But the sound thing with the meditation. And Vicki was like, what the hell? Like everybody except for Eva and Dorinda looked like they were over it. And they were like, whatever, child. So Vicki actually ends up leaving and going upstairs. She said she had some work to do. She had emails to return and phone calls to make for her business, child. So Tamara goes to check on her, and she's struggling. Like, part of her nasty disposition is that she's struggling and she's upset about her relationship, and she misses her man. And I get it. Good, bad, or indifferent. If this is the man you were with, you were going to marry him, and y'all been together for 4 years or whatever, I get it. It's not going to go away overnight, and literally y'all just broke up. Now, you just can't see, and what's funny is they keep trying to get her to understand that your man got another woman, okay? Because she was like, well, I just don't know what happened. Like, I don't understand what happened. And Dorinda and them are like, girl, y'all haven't had sex in 13 months. He's moved to Mexico. You don't have a hint? You don't have a clue about what might be going on with y'all situation? But they were there for her. Dorinda comes up, and they just let her know, listen, girl, whatever you need, we're here for you. If you need to vent, if you need a minute, But this is probably a good place for you to be because, the itinerary is so jam-packed. You don't have time to think about the man, So she had a moment. So then Taylor and Eva had a great moment. Eva is a domestic violence survivor, and so is Taylor. And they were able to bond over that and talk about their experiences and, talk to each other in a way that only people who've been through it understand. Even down to the conversation of when people say, why didn't you leave? And Eva was like, I hate that question. I hate that question when people say, why didn't you leave? They talked about when they got pregnant, and because Taylor was like, my daughter knew more than I thought she knew. And it breaks my heart that I didn't get out sooner because she shouldn't have had to see the things that she saw and witness what she witnessed. And they talked about, how Brandy, even insinuating, anything, it's hurtful and it opens up those old wounds. And so I thought that was a really, really great conversation that they had about it, and they were able to bond on it. Eva was very open about her situation, and so sometimes that's what you need. You need people to share their experiences of what they went through. And again, Eva's been very public about her experience with her daughter's father, and Taylor's played out on, like, if you don't understand what happened or what we talking about, just go back and watch season 1 and season 2 of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and it's right there. So that was a really good scene. I mean, they were both crying, and it was a bonding moment, and I hope it lasts. Like, I hope in 3 episodes they're not cussing each other out and yelling at each other. Like, I really, really hope not. Taylor said that she struggles with being assertive because for so long she felt like she was a pushover, and she just let people talk to her any kind of way. And so she sort of walks that line of being assertive in the moment, but not being too assertive, but not being the passive woman that she once was. So it's a struggle that she's still dealing with. She's still trying to figure out that happy medium in her life. Now for dinner, they are going to this Vent 4 mansion situation where it's supposed to be like this haunted mansion that you can go and have dinner, and you can bring in your own mediums or psychics that can tap into the energy in the house because it allegedly got ghosts and all that other stuff. So she's bringing in this lady that reads your coffee grinds that they brought in, that was on the Real Housewives of New York and did the same thing. So she's going to have the lady come in and do the readings. And so they get there, and Brandy, once again, she talking about the woman that's there. She's talking about she's a lesbian. Girl, first of all, how you know? She going to tell them that she could tell that the woman was a lesbian from her eyebrows. First of all, that's kind of extra. From her eyebrows. Second of all, it's still rude. Because she actually went up to the man, they're married, and she asked him, is your wife a lesbian? Who does that? Like, first of all, they didn't give you any indication. And even if they were, even if she is, a lesbian or bisexual, why are you walking up to these people asking these questions? That is very evasive and rude. So anyway, they're getting their reading done, and the lady's going around the table reading the leaves, and, there's always going to be believers. There's always going to be non-believers. And Brandy was like, listen, I don't believe what she's saying. She had time to Google all of us. And a lot of what she's saying she could have found, online, which is true. And I said, I agree with that 100%. But what happened was she got to talking while the lady was doing the reading. And so Dorinda got upset. And Dorinda was like, listen, I'm going to need you to be respectful. Like, she's here. She's doing our readings. I'm going to need you to be respectful and not talk while she's talking and, all those different things. And, of course, Brandy is like, what'd I do? What's wrong? And Eva was like, see, at this point, I just feel like they picking on Brandy. Like, they just want to have a problem with Brandy no matter what Brandy does, because you yelling at Brandy for talking while the lady's talking, but she was talking to me. So why isn't anybody mad at me? Like, we were having a conversation. Why y'all yelling at her? Now, I think there's some validity to that, but at the same time, we're not going to act like Brandy is innocent and she doesn't, create situations. So they started dinner. Brandy and Eva still had to get their coffee grinds read or whatever. And so because dinner had been held up, the ladies started dinner and they went over there. And while the rest of the ladies were getting dinner started, that's when they found out that Brandy had made the comment about asking the man if his wife was a lesbian. So when they get over there, of course, Brandy and who was it? Brandy was trying to apologize to Dorinda and was like, look, I apologize to the lady. I didn't want to be rude. I'm sorry if you felt like I was being rude or I was being disrespectful. And she was like, no, I want her to be respected. I'm just very protective of her. And so Tamara tried to say something, and Brandy gonna turn around to Tamara and tell her to shut the F up. Why you do that? You already was on Vicki's bad side. So now Tamara is like, girl, what you're not gonna do, you're not gonna cuss me out, you're not gonna talk to me crazy. So now Vicki and Tamara are yelling at Brandy And Eva is trying to defend Brandy because Eva is like, well, who is saying shut the F up? Because she missed the first part. And so now they started yelling at Eva and was like, don't come over here. You don't know what happened. Eva was like, oh, whoa, wait, whoa. Listen. I'm just trying to help diffuse the situation. But let me tell you what you're not going to do. You're not going to yell at me. You're not going to talk to me crazy. I don't know who you think you are. I don't know who you think I am. But let me be clear. This ain't what you want. This is not what you want. Okay? So then they end up taking Brandy out. Phaedra and Eva take Brandy out. And that's when they were telling her, listen, girl, you just can't talk to them like you talk to us. Like, we talk however we're going to talk. So they go back inside. And that's when Phaedra brings up. Phaedra was like, girl, did you really ask that man if his wife was a lesbian? And Brandy was like, I didn't ask him that. Now, when they played the clip back, Brandy didn't ask him, is she a lesbian? Brandy said, what did she say? She didn't come right out and ask, was she a lesbian? I think she made a definitive statement about her being a lesbian. But either way, it was still offensive. Like, you just can't be going around questioning people's sexuality like that. It's rude. So then she ended up telling somebody else to shut the F up. I said, Brandy. Taylor. She ended up yelling at Taylor and telling Taylor to shut the F up. Well, this must have been one of them situations where Taylor was talking about how she has to decide how she going to carry things. And is she going to be too assertive or not assertive enough? Because, baby, the way she turned around and started yelling at Brandy, baby, and told Brandy, you're not going to talk to me like that. Don't you tell me to shut up. Da-da-da-da-da, yada, yada, yada. I said, ooh, Brandy, this was not what you wanted, girl. This was not what you wanted. But basically, that's where the episode ended. They were still at the damn house trying to, resolve things and get their asses home. But listen, this Brandy situation is what it is because this is what Brandy does. It is what Brandy does. I just don't want Eva and Phaedra to go too far down that rabbit hole with Brandy because, again, she will bite you. But anyway, let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.